Hello and welcome to week 6 of our NFL preview, as well as the picks coming later in the video. We have a very good week of football this week, guys. It's a bit of a rough start. We have the Bears at Washington, or Washington at the Bears. So to start off, guys, some thoughts on what Ron Rivera just said. He said a quarterback is the reason why the team aren't contenders. Saketh, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think Ron Rivera made a huge mistake. I really wouldn't consider it a bad move to trash talk your quarterback on live TV if Carson Wentz wasn't his quarterback. Carson Wentz is a guy who has really shaky confidence, and I don't see this as benefiting the team in any way. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, Will, do you agree with Saketh or?
Yeah, I mean, it goes both ways here. I see what you're saying about the confidence, but I really think this is on Ron Rivera. I mean, he should be looked at as a coach because is Carson Wentz really the fault for everything that's gone on with the team? I mean, he's putting up offensively, they're putting up a good game. The defense has played poorly, and the offensive line has been kind of a joke. I don't know if it's really all of Wentz's fault, but then on the other side, Wentz is playing a very poor year of football. It's not like he's doing anything special. So it goes both ways, but I have to go with the fact that Ron Rivera did not do a substantial job, I guess, recapping the team because is it really all Wentz's fault? I don't believe so. I think there's other players who have been playing a lot worse than him. And to throw it all on the quarterback, where I get he's a leader, but I don't really like what he did.
Yeah, and Wentz is really mediocre, but I bring this stat up every week, but PFF ranks the Commanders as the 32nd best O line. So I don't know what quarterback could really perform under those conditions or be anything more than average. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could be very interesting tonight. It could be a bit of a prove it game for Carson Wentz. So could be the only interesting storyline we're going to get in tonight's game. Other than that, it's going to be pretty much a snooze fest. I think everyone knows that. Starting with the 1:00 games, we have the Baltimore Ravens, who are 3-2. Surprisingly, not the highest record in this game at the New York Giants. 4-1 are the Giants. So, guys, are the Giants legit this year, or are they just really well coached under Brian Daboll? Brian, I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, I feel like Brian Dable's been just been doing a great job with the Giants, especially with their wide receiver situation. Kenny Galladay is not him. I think he hasn't had a touchdown since last year in October, and but the way he's getting paid and stuff like that, it's just the wide receivers are not him, not doing good at all, and they're relying on the run game. Saquon Barkley's doing insane, but yeah, I feel like they're just being well coached.
Yeah, Daboll is a serious candidate right now for Coach of the Year. Might also be the front runner. Will, do you disagree with Brian here?
I have to disagree in some few parts. I do agree Brian Daboll is coaching an amazing year this year, leading the Giants some good wins, and sure, haven't been against great opponents, but they did just take down the Packers game. And if you did watch that, it was a little early on Sunday, but it was a legit win, and I'm going to go. And at this point, I changed my mind. They are a legit team. It's really it all starts not with Saquon Barkley, but with Andrew Thomas. What he's done this year, the highest ranked player in all of PFF, what he's done this year blocking has just been terrific. He's allowing Daniel Jones to have to kind of be able to figure it out. Daniel Jones played much better. He's been able to run more, keep the ball in the air. He hasn't been rushed behind the line, and also Saquon Barkley has ran a great year behind Andrew Thomas. I think it really all does lean on him, and with how they're performing offensively, especially in the run game, it's kind of like an Eagles-esque team last year. Not as good in the run game, but I see it forming, and I do think they're kind of legit, and I do think they could prove it here. Only problem is the Ravens have a very bad secondary, not great, and it's getting better, the Ravens secondary, for sure. We saw last week, they put together a good game, but I don't think they'll be able to take him down because the Giants' past game, as Brian said, hasn't been that good this year. It hasn't been good in the past, so they can't attack it like that. But I do think even if they take the loss, they're still a very legit team. They're still a good team. They can still make a push to the playoffs, even though they do have one other good team in that division that they have to worry about. The two other fraud teams, the Cowgirls and the Commanders, are not going to be a threat to the Giants.
Wouldn't expect anything less. I really appreciate that, Will, bringing up the Cowboys when we haven't even got to them yet. Yeah, I mean, I think that the Giants, it'll be very interesting, like Will said. It's going to be a toss-up when we do pick the game later, so that should be very fun. Next game we have for the 1 o'clock slate, we have the New England Patriots, who are 2-3, at the Cleveland Browns, also 2-3. And, Jack, I think you want to get a bit of a Jack Jones breakdown of his pick in their last game.
I do. I want to talk about this guy, Jack Jones. He's a fourth rounder. The Patriots, they always turn their players into good, it seems like. People are talking about Sauce Gardner because he's the fourth pick. He's getting all the hype. I'm a Jets fan, but I think this guy, Jack Jones, is better. He's got a 90 PFF rating. That's the best of any corners through 5 weeks. So let's just talk about this pick against the Lions. We see that the Patriots are showing up in nickel. You can tell here, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 cornerbacks, and we're going to show what the routes these receivers are running. He's got an end around. This receiver is going to run the vertical. And Hawkinson's going to run a wheel route around. So our guy right here, Jack Jones, he is covering the vertical. And this play is basically set up for Hawkinson because he's going to be open when the linebacker's not close to him, and Jack Jones is going to be running man on this guy. But what the Patriots do, which is great by Belichick, is this.
Oh, might have lost Jack for a little bit there.
Yeah, while we're waiting for him, I mean, I guess we should just talk about how the Patriots always end up with a top corner somehow or another. I mean, they lost Stephon Gilmore, and then immediately J.C. Jackson had a huge breakout, and now they have another guy erupting. So I think, this defensive back coaching staff is maybe one of the best we've ever seen, to be honest.
It's out of nowhere, too. He was, I believe, a 6th-round pick. So it just seems like Belichick always has that one guy in that corner. Jack, I think you're back with us.
Yeah, where did I leave off? I'm sorry.
Right where Bill Belichick was, like, he did something great, and then you kind of
yeah. So this D end is going to block Hawkinson, which stops Hawkinson's route, which in practice messes up the line. So we're going to run it through. Jack Jones is right here. This is our guy. So we're going to run it through.
I think we lost him.
Yeah,
He does have the hotel Wi-Fi right now. He's living it up in Florida. That's what's going on.
Yeah,
we can wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is, Jack.
There you go. We
How do
lost
I keep
you right
lagging?
when the play started.
You're not in Jersey, man. That pristine Jersey Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
you're missing out on.
This is okay. So Jack Jones, number 13, right here, and we're just going to see what he does in this play. Hopefully, we can get through this quick. He's on this vertical guy and the man, but he stops because he sees Goff looking to the left of Hawkinson. He takes off that guy, which is a risky play because this safety does not run with him. He would have been wide open in the end zone, but he goes with him and picks it off. It's a great play by him, the 4th rounder. And we're just going to do the end zone to show how good of a toe tap it actually was by him too. It's great work. It doesn't look like a rookie. This Belichick turns these guys into just amazing.
No, he really looks like a seasoned veteran right there.
Yeah,
and he could be the next great for the Patriots.
I do want to step in real quick, and I don't have a video like Jack. I'm not as fancy, but you guys have to tell me what this guy's name is. 'Cause I totally forgot. Who's a May Troy Polamalu on the Niners?
Hufanga.
Yeah. So same thing. I just want to point out the fact that, like Belichick, Shanahan is also a genius, and these guys are coming in the league. There was a play against the Rams where basically they ran a pick play with the tight end. He kind of stopped and he cut him off. And Hufanga, I think is his last name, definitely mispronouncing it, something like that, was supposed to kind of go with the runner and get caught in the pick, but he realized it, kind of stopped his route, and then jumped the other one and got a pick six. So I mean, the evolution of these defensive coaches, these guys is kind of like working like these few coaches that have been so amazing defensively. It's shown in the league how much it's changed. I mean, Bill Belichick forever has been great, and he keeps on doing it. Like, I mean, Jack Jones is a stud, and he just gets better. They teach him so well, and to bring in these guys with that much talent, sometimes it's not even the talent; it's the ability to be coached. And guys like Jack Jones and Hufanga, they're just really special players in the NFL, and you got to watch out for those guys. That's what I'm saying.
And they are young players too, I might add. They're doing this at a very young age, so they could be ruling the league later on. We're going to get to the next game, and Jack Purcell, we see you in the comments. We're going to get to your first comment here for the Jets game. The Jets are 3-2 at the Green Bay Packers, also 3-2, and Jack is asking us, are the Jets wild card contenders? Kemmler, I'll let you get to this first.
We're like almost there. Like, we are so close. It all comes down to this matchup because Zach Wilson came back and he hasn't versed that great of teams. I'm saying it. The Dolphins are not good without Tua. They're horrible.
Jack, stop it. Stop it.
40 points. 40 points.
Stop it. No, don't do this. Don't do this.
What do you want me to say?
Listen, maybe if the Jets were in a different division, but you know, when they're in that stacked that division with the Bills and the Dolphins, I don't see this Jets team going anywhere, especially with their horrible quarterback. I mean, I think the only bright spot in
Jameis Winston.
No, we're not gonna talk about Jameis right now.
We're
not gonna talk about Jameis right now. But I think Zach Wilson sucks. I think the only bright spot in this Jets offense is Breece Hall right now. I think, you know, he's doing a great job, and I think it's time to replace Michael Carter. But that's besides the point. This team is not a wild card contender. Just stop.
Can I hop in real quick?
Hop in, Will. Hop in.
All right. Gotta give some love to the Jets receiving core. It's just it's a really, really good receiving core. I mean,
yeah, Garrett Wilson's great.
Wilson, Corey Davis, and like Barrios. They have another guy that's really good. Elijah Moore. Those four, they play really, and they're really like shifty. Like, just watching them like run around the field and make cuts, they're just like kind of studs. All four of them. I do think this team's at least a contender for sure. I mean, the duo at corner, I'll say it. I won't stop saying it until something happens. DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner are just monsters. They're so good. Sauce Gardner's legit. I don't care if he's a fourth pick or not. He's legit.
Yes.
He's the real deal. He is up there for corner. He's a stud, maybe top 5 this year. And I mean, Zach Wilson, to call him a not good quarterback, I mean, he's managing the game very well. They just beat a team. They just put up 40 on the Dolphins. 40.
Yeah, I want to talk about them putting up 40.
Bad if you score 40. And yes, if you want to say the only bright part about the Jets offense is Breece Hall, it's really bright. He is very good. He is an amazing running back.
Well, I agree with you. Breece Hall is very bright, but I don't think he's the only bright spot. But, you know, guys, I am going to say it. The AFC is just so stacked and so deep that for me, it's not realistic this year. I want to reiterate that this year that the Jets make the playoffs. I think it's just the division, the AFC is too good. You know, they're 3-2. They've beaten some decent teams. They beat the Steelers, who we're going to get to next. They just blew out the Miami Dolphins. They beat the Browns. So those are 3 solid wins. But to me, you still got teams like the Chargers, who I think are going to bounce back. Even the Raiders, if we're being honest. Obviously, the Chiefs and the Bills. I just don't see them fitting into a spot when there's only 7 teams that make it.
Oh, I could see that if we beat these Packers this week and we're 4-2 and we beat some good teams, the Chargers are playing horrible. I could see us squeak in maybe one. But let's just talk about how we put up 40 on the Dolphins. Everybody wants to talk about their backup QB playing. Their backup QB didn't play defense.
Exactly.
They gave up 40 points. The Dolphins are not good. They're not a good team right now without Tua. When Tua went, this team has just went downhill, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we're going to get to the Dolphins. But, I mean, Jack, I couldn't agree more. But I think it's just later on in the year, I think this hot streak kind of tapers off. But don't get me wrong. Next year and like 5 or 6 years after that, I think the Jets are consistent making the playoffs. Probably always going to be behind the Bills, but I think they're going to be making the playoffs for a very long time. Just this year, for me, I don't see it for New York fans and the Jets. The next game we have are the San Francisco 49ers, who are 3-2 at the Atlanta Falcons. And guys, the division is very close, but also very in a weird state. Everyone thought it was the best division of football. Now they're all like mid-tier teams in terms of record. So for San Francisco, is this their division to lose?
You guys all doubted me when I said San Francisco is real. They're a great team. You guys all doubted me when I said D'Amico Ryan's defense is legit. And Will is still sleeping. But I will stand on the fact that D'Amico Ryan's defense is probably, I'd say, up there for the best defense in the league. I mean, you look at this NFC West right now. What do I see? I see a bad Rams team. I see a Seahawks team that's always going to be playing from behind. I see a Cardinals team that has a quarterback who's just not a leader. I don't see a team that can compete with this Niners team. Kyle Shanahan is a great coach, and he's always done a good job of using Jimmy Garoppolo and using what he can do averagely, with those short throws to Deebo Samuel, and he knows how to take advantage of his players. He's turning Jeff Wilson into a usable running back right now, and I think this Niners offense is just going to be where it left off last year. But what's really going to shine through is that defense, and like I said, I'm going to keep saying it. The Niners are a top 5 team in the NFL.
And all right, so Brian, I know you want to disagree with Saketh. I can see it on your face right now. Saketh, real quick, it's fine if you say the Niners are going to win the NFC West. But to say that there's not even a team that can compete, the Super Bowl winners are in that division, Saketh.
Yeah, and they look awful. They look absolutely horrid.
They could always bounce back. I know Matthew Stafford's not having the best year right now, but when he first got into LA, he was amazing. But I feel like he can always bounce back, especially the Rams defense is insane. They got Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. They also picked up Bobby Wagner from our Seahawks, but they have one of the best defense probably in the league.
Yeah, Matt Stafford might be bad right now, but that's definitely not, the only bad thing on this Rams offense. I know we're going to talk about it later, but that Rams running rush attack is horrible. It's just bad. I don't know how else to put it. It's not good. And I think there's only one thing happening on that Rams offense, and everybody knows what's going to happen every play. And every game, it's getting easier and easier to stop Cooper Kupp. It's going to happen eventually. Teams are going to figure him out. I mean, even if they don't fully figure him out, they're going to be able to do enough to get the victory. And I think, the Niners are the most complete team in that division.
I think that's an absolute lie. The Niners offense cannot be counted as complete, Saketh.
I want to do something real quick. This is sickening, and this is sick. This is sickening to me because I'm gonna agree with Saketh. Okay, they are maybe that they're the most complete team in the division, and I don't care what you want to say. Jalen Ramsey is not playing like the corner he is. I mean, I don't even know who their safeties are, so I can't rant about them because they're probably playing garbage. I mean, Bobby Wagner is not who Bobby Wagner was on the Seahawks.
He did a better job tackling that fan than he did all season.
Yeah, Aaron Donald is still a beast. He's still amazing, but he's not like the best edge rusher in the league by so far where he should win every DPOY. Like they're all declining. They're all aging. And then to top it off, we're gonna get into it later, so I'm not gonna get too upset. Matt Stafford's bad. And he's just not doing it. And the 49ers are so good this year. They have so many fill-in guys who are playing so well. I don't think they're top 5, the Niners, but I do think that there's no shot any team in this division can compete with them. I hate the Cardinals. They're just such a boring team. I mean, how do you sit down and watch a Cardinals game and enjoy it? It's Kyler Murray. He snaps the ball. It's like a college football team in the NFL.
What's so boring?
He just snaps the ball and runs around for 20 seconds,
and that's
throws
boring?
the ball in the air, throws a pick, goes back to the sideline, and then J.J. Watt does what? J.J. Watt's out every game. There's a new excuse every time. Like, what is it this time? He's gonna have turf toe? It's a boring division, and the Niners gonna roll through it.
Yeah, and back to Kyler for a second. Usually when a quarterback's going and rushing into the end zone and getting a touchdown, you see all the whole team celebrating with the quarterback. And when Kyler scored, none of his teammates were there to celebrate it with him. And I think that just goes to show, how there's no leadership on that Cardinals team. It's not a complete team. They don't have that guy that everyone looks up to, especially in the offense. So yeah, I mean, the Cardinals are a damn good team, but if I'm looking at the rest of the people in that division, I don't see them competing with the Rams, much less the Niners.
Yeah, and something I just want to point out before we move on, Brian. I'm gonna have to agree with you on this. I think the Rams still have this division. Will, you mentioned 3 players in specific. You mentioned Aaron Donald, you mentioned Bobby Wagner, and you mentioned Jalen Ramsey. Now you have your own opinions. I have my own opinions. If we all love PFF, so I'll
Here
just
comes PFF. Yep, there it is.
I'll just head over there real quick.
The Rams pay him off. I don't care.
Don't be making
They do
accusations.
that. PFF
not
does
on
take
They
pride.
slip, they slip him money.
We got Bobby Wagner number 2, Aaron Donald number 2, and Jalen Ramsey number 4, all at their positions.
Who knows? It's still early in the season.
LA money.
LA money.
Back
Yeah.
in the division.
I mean, they're able to build a new stadium. I bet they could pay PFF a couple of dollars.
Yeah, but start naming me the rest of their roster, right? It's like the top guys, and then after that, it's trash. It's
It's
just
not great
horrible.
after that, but
I bet
still
you. I
love
bet
their
you
offense
Ben
way
Skoronek's
more than the
top
Niners.
Yeah, and like I said before, their offense is one-dimensional. Like Will just said, who is Ben Skoranek? Who is this?
He's in the top 3 at PFF for run blocking.
Yes.
He is, yes.
I'm saying it's the stupidest stuff, but
He's the best run blocker on the team right now.
Yeah, and their running attack is still horrible. So
I want to preface. For me, I don't think it's the running attack. I think it's the run blocking on the O-line. That O-line is atrocious. I mean, Stafford is under pressure all the time, and there's no holes for Henderson and Akers. So I mean, we say running attack, but that O-line has just been completely atrocious the entire year. We're gonna move on to the next game. We have the 3-2 Buccaneers at the 1-4 Steelers. Jack, I see you are asking us if the Steelers are going to end the season under 500. I think we're going to one-up you. We're asking, are the Steelers the second worst team in the AFC? Jack, I'll let you speak on this first.
I think they're actually worse than the Texans. I mean, Texans have some good wins against the Colts and against the Jaguars last week. Steelers, I mean,
it was a tie, by the way.
Whatever, same thing. Colts suck. So, but 38-3 is just an embarrassment. It's not even close. I actually like Pickett, but 38-3, this team is just not good this year.
Scath, how about you?
Dude, Jack, you gotta be kidding me. Worse than the Texans?
Dude, right now, yes.
No, stop.
Damian Pierce is running the ball better than Najee would ever.
These
At
takes
least they
are
have the
getting
win.
out of hand. Okay, let's not be disrespectful here. Okay, I mean I understand how it's looked for the Steelers. I'm looking at it. I understand, but they're not worse than the Texans. They're not, and I'll tell you why. I think the Steelers team has a way more upside than this Houston Texans team can even have. And I think when you add a guy like Kenny Pickett, I think we don't know exactly what he'll become yet, but we know he's definitely an upgrade over Mitch Trubisky, right? And personally, I think it's very disrespectful to say they're worse than the Texans. And then I'll even go farther than you and say I think the Colts are worse at this point. I think the Colts are a worse team than a Steelers.
There it is.
They are a worse team. And Will, you turn off your camera, but I'm being dead serious. I'm being very serious. The Colts are a worse team.
No, you're not even close.
Will is
Steelers offensive coordinator.
You're
Matt
doing this
Canada.
on purpose.
Matt Canada is their offensive coordinator. He's horrible.
Listen,
They have 3.
It might be a little bit
solid
exaggerated
receivers.
considering Will loves the Colts, but I'm being serious. I think the Steelers are up there with the Colts. I think they could go toe to toe in any given game. I think the Steelers
38-3. How's that toe to toe?
Listen, let me explain. I'll explain it to you right now.
Look. Hear me out. If on the second play of the game the Bills didn't get a 98-yard touchdown, it wouldn't close.
No.
No, I'm just mocking Sakath. What he's saying is nonsense. better than the Colts. I mean, their defense is the big hitter, and they're up 38 points. He gets steamrolled every game at this point. Kenny Pickett's a joke. I don't care. Like he literally like threw the ball well last game, and they put 3 points. I mean, Najee Harris might be like a bottom 5 running back in the league right now, like as a number 1 running back. He's so big. His little guy, 5'8", 145, is running the ball with more power than him. Their O-line isn't even that bad. The Colts have like so much better. They at least have something.
How is the Colts O-line been so much better?
Going for them.
How's the Colts O-line been so much better? Stop it, Will. The Colts rushing attack sucks. That was the only thing keeping them afloat last year.
It's 8 times better.
Matt Ryan can't even get the ball off because he's under a bunch of D linemen every 4 seconds. The freaking the receivers don't even have enough time to get open. It's bad. Alec Pierce is getting the same amount of targets as Michael Pittman. It's just like when I look at these 2 teams between the Colts and the Steelers, I see 2 mediocre teams.
Yeah, well, thanks for bringing the fact in that the Colts have involved their rookies in a very good way, and the fact that we're building on it, our team's just getting better. I mean, our coaching has been terrible.
Will, I'm gonna cut you off there. We have so much time queued up for you for the Wills, for the Colts later on. They're pretty much the Wills at this point, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I'm gonna move on real quick. The Steelers for me are the second worst team in the AFC. They look abysmal. Their schedule's not helping them at all. So for me, it goes Texans, Steelers. So Kath, I think it is just blasphemy for you to say the Colts are a worse team than the Steelers. I'm going to take Will's side again on this, but we're going to move on to the next. Oh, actually, no, real quick. Guys, I think it's a bit obvious, but Jack also asked us, are the Bucs making the playoffs? Are we all in agreement here?
Yeah, there's no one else in that division competing with them.
Yeah, they're top 5 NFC.
Yeah.
I don't look here. They're gonna make the playoffs, and they're gonna go far to Tom Brady. But if there's someone else in that division, it would be tough. If they weren't playing with like bums like the Saints, who else? The Saints are terrible, and the Falcons.
Listen,
Will is saying yes for anyone.
I will be the first to admit the Saints are bad. Okay, the Bucs are going to the playoffs. End of story.
Yeah, lucky, but whatever.
It's pretty obvious. Next game we have the 4-1 Vikings at the 3-2 Dolphins. For the Dolphins side of things, should they start panicking with all these quarterback injuries and they just gave up 40 points to the New York Jets? I'm going to throw it to Saketh first.
Yeah, so they should definitely be worrying. I mean, you go from a guy like Tua, you have a bunch of team success, able to get it to his guys like Waddle and Tyreek Hill down the field. And then you go to a guy like Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater may have not even been a downgrade from Tua. But after Teddy Bridgewater, I think, the next guy up, I believe his name is Skylar Thompson. He is not a NFL-ready quarterback. He is not a good quarterback. Third stringer. He sucked. But at the end of the day, I mean, you got to worry if you're the Dolphins because you're in a division with the Bills. You can't give up a game. You can't give up 2 games. It's I don't know. I just don't see them being able to beat out the Bills if they're going to keep dropping games, especially playing the Vikings this week.
Yes, Kath, especially how the Jets are playing this year as well. We were talking about them possibly making a playoff. So, I mean, people might not even think the Jets are better or the Dolphins are better than the Jets at this point. Jack, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, ever since Tua left Waddle, he waddled away. Michael Carter is now waddling all over him in the end zone. The Jets killed him. Like I said before, their backup QB doesn't give up 40 points, so we should start panicking about that defense.
Yeah, we're going to move on to the next game here. It's the Cincinnati Bengals at the New Orleans Saints. Both teams are 2-3 heading into Week 6. Will, I'll ask you, how can the Bengals start to work Jamar Chase into this offense similar to how they did last year?
So, as we saw, at least last year, everything was around Chase. And I think they need to start doing something. If you watched last game, Jamar Chase got a few dump-off screen routes and turned into something. And he's a very agile, quick guy. I mean, he's amazing. He's very shifty, but the route running just isn't 100% there. He's not, like, cutting up field like he's Justin Jefferson. There's a complete difference there. He's more of a quick, agile guy who's going to get around defenders like that. I think that they need to start leaning on Higgins in more of a wide receiver one role, in the fact that they're not giving him more targets, not giving him more shares, but looking at him down the field more, him running the longer routes, and getting Chase involved down low, working against linebackers where they have no shot at covering him. Try to get him away from the safeties and the corners, who they've just been throwing their entire team on him. I feel like the offense coordinator, don't know who it is, but whoever it is for the Bengals, is running Chase out of the league right now by just throwing him on deep routes, just every single play into 3 or 4 safeties and corners. But the one way they can work him in, just work him in the slot, work him down low against linebackers who I don't think there's a linebacker in the league who could cover him one-on-one.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think when the Bengals get Chase more involved is when they start to maybe see some more wins and more success in their season this year. I don't think any of you guys would disagree.
Yeah, and just one last thing. I had Chase my fantasy team last year, so I greatly remember there was a time where I think he got like a 5-yard catch and spun off like 4 defenders and ran for like an 80-yard touchdown. He wasn't getting like 30-yard catches. He was just getting dump offs and just beating defenders. And that's his strength. And I think they ran away from that, trying to, I guess, grow on Chase and make him a better receiver. But sometimes I think you just need to go back to what he's good at and just dump it off.
Yeah, and guys, for me, I think I had Jamar Chase as a top 4 or 5 receiver talent-wise going into the season. So just to see the stats he's putting up right now, they're kind of a little bit disappointing. Obviously, he's not going out there and doing nothing, but you hope to see him get more involved. Will, we're going to keep you on, especially for this one. We have the Jaguars, who are 2-3, at the Indianapolis Colts, who are 2-1. And a question that, Jack, I want to ask you as well as Will. How many quarterbacks are worse than Matt Ryan at the moment, and where does he rank for you guys? Jack, I'll throw it to you first, since you probably won't have much talking time after Will goes.
Well, yeah, he's definitely not top 20. I mean, if we want to just talk about how he has to take time and he has to, get flow with the offense, he had OTAs, he had training camp, he had preseason, he had 5 weeks of football now. Nothing is working. 10 fumbles in 5 games. That's 2 fumbles a game. Nothing is working for that offense. The O-line is horrible. I get that. So then what's the point of Matt Ryan if the O-line is horrible? Maybe get a mobile quarterback. Colts look like they're doomed if the O-line stays like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't think he's top 20, Jack, do you think you can name us some of the other quarterbacks that might just be worse than him, or just worse?
Let me hop in here, Chadwick. I'm gonna list off a few quarterbacks to Jack, and we're gonna work. All right, so he's not top 20. So first of all, please get a number where you think he is in the 22, 23.
Yeah, I'd say about 23.
23. Okay.
So we're gonna start from the back. We're gonna start with currently we're gonna skip Skylar Thompson because he's a bum. Baker Mayfield. This is who's better, Baker Mayfield or
Matt Ryan's better.
All right, Davis Mills.
Matt Ryan's better.
Justin Fields.
Yes, Matt Ryan.
Bailey Zapp.
Ryan.
Kenny Pickett.
Ryan.
Oh, all right. Zach Wilson.
I feel like Bailey Zapp is a bit unfair.
He's a starting quarterback. He's a starting quarterback.
All right.
Matt Ryan's better than Mac Jones anyway. It doesn't really matter.
I agree with that. Mac Jones.
This is my argument.
All right, we're not done yet. Trevor Lawrence. Okay, that's fair. Andy Dalton.
Matt Ryan.
Oh, Jack, I think you had him on that one.
Who do you say?
Mariota.
He's better than Mariota.
Cooper Rush. Okay. Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby. And he was good with the Colts that time.
Okay. Daniel Jones.
I hate Daniel Jones. So Matt Ryan.
No.
Jack, you're real. I mean,
that's fair. Matt Stafford.
And his karma, he's lagging. DJ's a better quarterback.
Yeah, he said Daniel Jones, and StreamYard just kicked him right off. I don't blame him.
DJ is the.
We're gonna wait for Kemmler, but all right, he's back.
Yeah.
All right, we're not done yet. This is not over yet. Matt Stafford. Matt
Stafford is. Don't even get me started with that. Matt Stafford is better.
And this is. We're gonna go one more guy. We're gonna go 2 more guys. Russell Wilson.
I'd say if Russell Wilson was on the Colts right now, he'd be better.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
about how good the quarterback is, not their stats.
Carson
Oh.
Wentz.
What? Matt Ryan.
Okay. And last guy, Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Okay, that's fair. Now, I'm going to turn it back around to Matt Stafford. Look it up right now. Numbers are the same. Same passing yards, same touchdowns, same interceptions, about the same completion rating, and a far better situation for Stafford. I get it, both the lines are just a joke right now, but a far better situation. He has Cooper Kupp, and that's all I should be saying. I mean, number one wide receiver in the league. Matt Ryan is figuring it out right now with a bad coach. I'm gonna finally agree that Frank Reich is just a bust. He's got a bad coach, an okay receiving core, and an O-line that has gone through injuries and the fact that they don't know how to play football. They're figuring it out. We saw it against the Broncos. They were playing a very good game, except for two guys. We lost our All-Pro center, who was top 5 in PFF last year as a center. And then our
do we like PFF now? Where are we on
I
this?
love
Will?
PFF except for Ravens. And then our rookie guard who was playing a position he's never played. I think 4 holdings. He had a horrible game. So outside of that, Matt Ryan's playing very good football. I mean, the passing yards are there.
Oh my gosh.
He has 3 interceptions.
Will.
It's just been junk.
First of all, don't ever compare Matt Stafford and Matt Ryan. First of all,
I
Matt
won't again because Matt Ryan's
No,
One is a
listen,
Super Bowl
because
champion.
Matt
One in the
Stafford
choke
is-
at 28.
He-
Matt
Henry
Stafford
is better
played
than
the best
All
defense
right,
in the
all right.
NFL already.
Les, I'm gonna let you go off. Jack, I want to help you out real quick, and then I'll let you just go crazy on Will because I know it's very easy to right now with the things he's saying. Will, real quick, these are the teams that Matt Stafford has played so far: the Bills, Falcons, Cardinals, 49ers, and Cowboys. All right.
Yeah.
Falcons,
All right,
Cardinals, and then who else was after the Cardinals?
the 49ers and the Cowboys
All right,
and the Bills.
that's fair.
Well. I just want
Very
to
good
say,
defenses.
I
Will,
don't
let me
care what
read you
you
off
say.
who the Colts have played and what their defenses are: the Texans, the Jaguars,
Shut
the
out
Chiefs,
by the Jaguars.
the Titans, and the Broncos. Does that not help a little bit?
It helps. Look, if you want to take Stafford over Ryan, I'm fine with that. But to say he's a bottom 20 quarterback and then put him in the top 20 after what Jack did is, first of all, it's just absurd. You ranked like 15 quarterbacks behind him.
No, I want to say
Matt Ryan is still a very good quarterback. I mean, he plays for the Falcons. He puts up the same season, but he's an underrated top 15 quarterback.
All right. And Will's mic is muted. Jack, go ahead.
if Zach Wilson was on the Colts right now, he would elevate that offense way more than Matt Ryan does.
He doesn't even elevate your own offense. There's no
Yes, he
there's no
does.
such thing as elevating the Jets' offense.
1 and 2, he comes back 3 and 2. What happens there?
It's not
What happens there?
elevating.
40
He didn't
points against the
elevate them
Dolphins.
against the
40
Steelers.
points.
One good drive against the Steelers. One good drive against the
Not won the
Dolphins.
game.
He just took advantage of a joke of an offense on the other side. He kept on getting the balls, kept on getting chances. That's
Zach
handing the
Wilson's
ball
playing
off.
very well
He didn't
right now.
throw the
I'm just throwing it
football.
out there.
He
The
just kept
Brees
on
Hall was
handing the ball
passed.
off.
He had 100 yards of passing yards. Brees Hall was all passing.
Was Ben Roethlisberger
There you go. That's what he
good
did.
last year?
That's how he
Was
elevates
Ben
the offense more
Roethlisberger
than
a good
Matt
quarterback
Ryan.
last year?
What?
Was Ben Roethlisberger a good quarterback last year?
No.
All he did was dump the ball off to Najee Harris. Doesn't make him a good quarterback.
Wilson doesn't do only dump offs. He has some. The Brees Hall was at least a 30-yard pass.
All right. We got to move on. So, Will, any final remarks? Jack, any final remarks here?
I
Zach
do a
Wilson is
final
better than
remark.
Matt Ryan.
14 and 21, 210 passing yards. That's not a good game. Sure, it was a sloppy win against the Broncos. They played a very good defense. And yes, Matt Ryan's being bombarded every single play. And this offensive line, by the way, they have new additions. They're flipping things around. They're playing the Jaguars this year, where I do want to bring up one
Lengthy
thing.
final remark here, Will.
Matt Ryan's a good quarterback, and the Jaguars are not the team that we thought they were at the start of the season. They are a bad team.
That's all we need. We're going to move on to the Carolina Panthers, who are 1-4 at the Los Angeles Rams. Real quick, just to start off with the Panthers, did Matt Rule deserve this midseason firing?
Yeah,
Matt Rule sucks. He's horrible.
I think everybody
He's
can
up there-
agree.
He's up there with Nathaniel Hackett for probably the worst coach in the NFL.
I do
Yeah,
want to throw this out there. I think it's more of a fair question. how much did Baker Mayfield play into the fact that Matt Rule just got fired?
No, because listen, Matt Rule did not create schemes that utilize his best weapons. I mean, Christian McCaffrey first couple weeks in the season did not get the volume he needs, and DJ Moore has been having a quiet year, and that's because Matt Rule does not know how to game plan for these guys, and Matt Rule is a bad coach. He's not a good coach. He doesn't know how to use his weapons.
Yeah, I just want to talk about what Matt Rule did last game. This is the reason he got fired. At the end of the half, it was 17-3. Niners were up. They come out of the half, the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey scores a TD, and it's 17-9. Do you kick a extra point, or do you go for 2 when it's a 17-9 game? Who would ever go for 2 points? Who would ever do that? 17-11. What does that change? That doesn't change anything.
Yeah,
No, statistically, that's the better move, though.
It's the analytics, but just like what we know with the NFL, what we've
It's
watched,
football.
just go down.
The steel ball.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. We're going to move on to the Rams. Brian, I actually want to throw this one to you since Will, I believe, talked for 20 minutes on Matt Stafford and Matt Ryan. So going to Stafford, is he the reason for the Rams' current struggles right now to start the season?
To be honest, he's not the best right now, but as we were saying earlier, the Rams' offensive line has just been terrible. Cam Akers, he was pretty good last year. He hasn't shown anything this year right now. And then the backup running back's not doing good either. So, but Stafford has the weapons. Cooper Kupp, probably number 1 wide receiver in the NFL right now. But yeah, I feel like Stafford's he's been disappointing so far.
Yeah, we hit on it a lot. He's definitely not helping the team right now. Hopefully, if he can turn around, look like a average to above average quarterback, I think the Rams maybe look like they did last year when they made the Super Bowl. We're going to move on to the next game, next 4:00 game. We have the Arizona Cardinals, who are 2-3, at the Seattle Seahawks, also 2-3. And guys, before I talk, I want to ask some of you guys: is Geno a top 5 quarterback, like some people are saying he is?
Top 5 is crazy. He's a good,
just the season alone. I'll put that in there.
Yeah, just the season alone, he's looking like a fundamentally good, sound quarterback. But it's absolutely crazy to me to say that he's a top 5 quarterback.
I mean, talent. I believe he's not a top 5 quarterback, but guys, he's putting up right now. He's had over 900 yards in their last 3 games. He had 325 against the Falcons, 320 against the Lions, and 270 against the Saints, as well as 3 touchdowns. Also, going back to PFF, you're welcome, Will. Highest graded quarterback in the entire league right now by PFF. Obviously, stats, and you can watch film, but that is another thing to add in there. So for me, yeah, like you said, talent is tough, but in terms of just how he's playing this year, he's top 3, maybe like top 2, honestly, with just how they're playing this year.
Yeah, and Ben, I agree with you in the fact that if Geno Smith continues to play like the way he is right now, he's a top 5 quarterback. But I really need to see him do it over the course of the season. I need to see if he can be a consistent quarterback.
Oh, and against some better teams too. I couldn't agree more. I mean, he kind of struggled a bit against the Niners and the Broncos, but then went crazy against the Saints, Lions, and Falcons. So that could be a strong tell right there. But I think he's playing well. But yeah, like you said, it'll be very interesting to see how he plays against those better defenses. We're going to move on to the next 4:00 game, the last 4:00 game. Also, maybe the best regular season game we're going to have all year. The Bills, who are 4-1, at the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 4-1. Saketh, I'll keep it with you. Is Travis Kelce the offensive player of the year favorite right now? Or can he be considered in the contention for it?
I mean, right now, I think you could call him a contender, but over the course of the season, I don't really see him keeping the same pace he is right now. I mean, a lot of what he's doing right now, I feel like is touchdown dependent. And I feel like over the course of the season, he's not going to, put up games with multiple touchdowns a game. I mean, obviously he has the upside to do so from game to game, but I can't see that he keeps up a pace of this many touchdowns per game. That's just my personal opinion. I feel like, again, I really just don't think he can keep up this pace. And when you're competing with some other guys, I think Kelsey's gonna have some regression over the year.
And I think that might be an interesting thing you just said. I don't know if anyone else wants to get in on this, but So, you just said some other guys, but like I think that's the exact point some people might make for Travis Kelce is like you can't even think of the guys' names on that team. That's why you're just saying some other guys. So why would Kelce's production slow down? I don't know if anyone else wants to jump in.
I mean, let me just clarify a little bit. When I said slow down, I'm talking about just some touchdown regression. I'm not talking about from a receptions and yards standpoint.
You might be saying that. We lost Jack. Hopefully, it comes back. But you're saying that like a guy like Juju might be getting some more production in that offense, or just the whole offense as a whole will take away from Kelce.
No, yeah, I think guys like Juju are gonna continue to get more, but he just had a game with 4 touchdowns, Travis Kelce. I don't really see that happening on a week-to-week basis. Yeah, he's gonna have some huge games, but I see some real regression with the touchdowns. He's a huge red zone threat, and I think teams are gonna continue and try to make other guys score.
I do want to just hop in real quick. I said before, and everybody made fun of me because like, oh, who makes in-season trades? DJ Moore is now everybody is on the trade block right now for Carolina, and most especially DJ Moore. And once again, his number one favorite or his number one target so far has been the Chiefs and the Packers. So just keep that in mind. That will take a little knock to Kelce's Offensive Player of the Year because they're bringing in a very good wide receiver. But yeah, I do think Kelce's going to win this award. He's just killing it, and Juju really isn't. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, we're going to move on to the Monday Night Football game. You might be wondering why we're skipping the Sunday night game. We have a little bit of a special segment before we head out of here today. Monday night, we have the 2-3 Broncos at the 3-2 Chargers. And guys, we talked about it a little bit before. Is Russ the most disappointing quarterback this season? Brian, I'll throw it to you.
To be honest, I don't think he's the most disappointing quarterback. I mean, he's definitely getting paid a lot. He's not doing much, but also Nathaniel Hackett is the coach, and he's just terrible. But I feel like the most disappointing quarterback right now is not Derek Carr. He has all the weapons he needs, and you cannot be a mediocre quarterback with Devontae Adams, and even Darren Waller. He also has arguably the top 10 running back, Josh Jacobs. So you cannot be mediocre with that team. And they should be probably 4-1 right now, but they're 1-4, and that's just terrible. It's disappointing.
Yeah, and I'll throw a couple more names out there before, Sakath, you give us your take. Even guys like Matt Stafford and you said Derek Carr, but like Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, I keep saying the same names over again. But yeah, like Matt Stafford's another name to throw out there. I mean, he just won the Super Bowl, and now he's playing like this. So like that's another guy you could put as the most disappointing quarterback. So, Kat, you got a take on this?
Russ is the most disappointing QB right now. I mean, you said Matt Stafford, but like this trade going into the season, how much were we? How many of us were expecting the Broncos to instantly become Super Bowl contenders? I mean, it wasn't a thought that didn't cross our minds. We all looked at Russ and went, "This is the guy who's going to change our team from being a below average team in the AFC, and we're automatically Super Bowl contenders," right? That's what we thought going into the season. But no, this team is absolutely atrocious, okay? This team sucks. I mean, communication, horrible between quarterback and coach. Play calls suck. We're targeting tight ends. I mean, there's this guy named Eric Beck, I believe, getting more targets than not more targets, but getting a significant amount of targets over guys like Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. I think, Russell Westbrook on the Seahawks was the most accurate.
Wilson. Very similar players with Russell Wilson.
No, he means like
Russell Wilson. That's what I mean. Going into the season on the Seahawks, he was the most accurate deep ball quarterback. And, I just feel like the Broncos are not utilizing that aspect of him correctly. And I think even Russell Wilson himself has not. He's just not been what he was in Seattle. And I think, even last year, people were questioning, is it the offensive line? Is it, why is Russell Wilson not able to succeed on the Seahawks? And now I think we can confidently say that Russell Wilson is the reason why Russell Wilson hasn't been succeeding for the last couple of years.
Yeah, and Saketh, I think another interesting thing is that pass that he could have had to KJ Hamler very late in the game, and he just completely missed him. So, I mean whether you're like Brian and you think there's a quarterback or two worse than him, or you're like Saketh and you think he's the worst quarterback, I don't think there's any doubt. He is in the bottom.
No, I didn't say he's the worst quarterback. I said he's the most disappointing quarterback.
Well, he was playing against an amazing defense with one of the best corners in the league right now. So it's kind of tough to put up a game.
Stop.
Dude, Stephon Gilmore. You want to go to PFF? Go right now. Stephon Gilmore's amazing.
Don't say. Oh, come on, Will.
He's playing like a great corner this year. Guys, we have a couple comments right now. First off, Aiden saying that the Colts are very trash. We really appreciate the Will hate. We can't get any more of it here on this channel. We've talked about the Colts a lot this video. So real quick, I'm going to put this other comment by Aiden. Is Geno Smith comeback potential player of the year?
I mean, not over Saquon, but Geno is, he's having a great year.
It is weird because his comeback is coming from not being a starter in 5 or 6 years. So it's a weird comeback player of the year, but I could definitely see it.
I would take him over Saquon because Saquon's he's come back from injury. He had a bad season last year. Geno Smith the past 5 years was nobody. He wasn't even a quarter. He was a backup forever. And now he's we're calling him top 3 quarterback in the league. I feel also quarterback's more important than running back. I get Saquon Barkley's playing really well, but I think Geno Smith is just better.
I mean, you can make the argument for both, but I personally can say that I saw this coming from Geno Smith. Last year, I had DK Metcalf on my fantasy team. So I was watching that Steelers game closely where Russell Wilson got hurt and Geno Smith had to come in. And I saw Geno Smith. He was fundamentally sound. He was a good quarterback. So I knew coming into this year that everyone was talking about, Geno Smith. The Seahawks are going to be the 32nd team in the NFL. The Seahawks team is going to be the worst team. I personally thought the Seahawks were going to have a solid quarterback in Geno Smith. And he's done a great job outperforming all the expectations.
Yeah, and to bring some stats into this, Geno is very far away from near the most attempts, but he's still about top 10 in yards. He has by far the highest completion percentage of any quarterback, a 9-2 touchdown ratio, the highest QBR in the entire NFL right now. So he's putting up this year. He's putting up the points, the stats. The team is actually playing well with the Seahawks, which is very impressive. Russ couldn't even do it last year. So, yeah, for me, I would say Geno and Saquon are kind of neck and neck for comeback player of the year.
Yeah, and Geno Smith himself said they were writing him off, but he didn't write back. So, exactly. I mean, that's the quote. It's a great quote.
Especially coming from Geno Smith. Who would expect that from Geno Smith? But what an incredible quote. Real quick, before we make our picks, we're going to move on to the Sunday Night Football game. We have the Cowboys at the Eagles. And, guys, just real quick so I can get a consensus, who is taking the Eagles in this game? Maybe just a raise of hands. Thank you, Jack. I really appreciate that. I got one with me. So, Jack, we'll start with you. Why do you have the Cowboys in this game?
The Cowboys are here to stay. The Eagles, they've been almost winning these last couple games. They almost beat the Jaguars. Oh no, they barely beat the Jaguars and they barely beat the Cardinals. Their time is done. The Cowboys are here. That defense is just going to shut down the Eagles, in my opinion.
If you're going to bring these almost wins here, the Cowboys almost lost to the Bengals. So you
Bengals are a good team.
Go both ways, Jack. Go both ways.
The Bengals are a good team. I mean, the Cardinals aren't really that good, according to Will. So,
yeah,
the Cardinals?
Yeah.
I'll bring it up again, dude. They got a little dude running around the backfield, throwing the ball up 500 feet in the air to Marquise Brown, and then J.J. Watt pulling every different muscle every game. Is J.J. Watt even in the league anymore, or is he just an actor at this point? I haven't seen him play a football game in 3 years, but he's in the media every week.
Yeah, whenever they need a timeout, I think he just acts hurt and they get a timeout. So.
Yeah, and also on top of that, I couldn't name a single player on the Cardinals defense besides J.J. Watt. If I really sat down and thought about it, maybe I don't know anybody. It's just a weird team. They're just boring to watch. They're a bad team.
You
Yeah.
definitely
lost
know Isaiah
Chandler
Simmons
Jones.
and Buda Baker.
I
Who?
do want to get back to
Who's
the
the first
Cowboys
guy?
Eagles game.
Oh,
Isaiah
Isaiah
Simmons.
Simmons.
Picks.
Okay.
Will, you
And
want to give a
Buda
quick
Baker's
reason why you like Philly in this game?
Me?
Yes.
Because they're the best team in the NFC. I mean, because they have Jalen Hurts, and it's not downpouring. That's why. Because Jalen Hurts is, by the way, you guys call Geno Smith a top 3 quarterback, and that's a joke. There's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen's
This season,
right there.
talent-wise, he's not even top 10, I wouldn't say.
I know, but this season, but those 3 are better anyway.
Highest completion percentage, highest QBR. Like, how can you argue with that?
I mean, you literally said it yourself. He played the Lions, Falcons, and Saints, and it wasn't a hurricane all 3 of the games. Whatever. Beyond that, Devontae Smith has worked himself into a role of a very, very, very good wide receiver too. AJ Brown is the stud. It's just their defense is so amazing. I think this is where the Cooper Rush story ends. It was a great storyline. It had me feeling good. It was heartwarming, but no one cares anymore. The Eagles are just they're the better team.
And that's going to bring me to another topic real quick. Cooper Rush, this will likely be his final game as a Cowboy. Everyone thought that Dak would be back for this game. I was hoping Dak would be back, but we're getting another game of Cooper Rush. Obviously, I can't pick against the Cowboys, but I would have loved Dak for this game, Saketh.
Ben, we're going to be in person, and I'm going to have so much enjoyment watching that smirk get wiped off your face as we watch the Eagles win. Okay, the Eagles are the best team in the NFC East, the best team in the NFC in general. They have absolutely nobody who can compete with them, I feel like. I mean, you look at this Eagles team, I can't look at a single position and go, this Eagles team, they're just not strong here. You know what I'm saying? This Eagles team, easily a top 2, top 1 secondary, even maybe competing with the Packers. I think, they have the best O-line in the NFL. They have, amazing quarterback play. I think Jalen Hurts is even severely underrated right now. I think people look at him like a guy like Lamar instead of just – if you watch one of these Eagle games, you could see the difference between Jalen Hurts and Lamar. I mean, yeah, Jalen Hurts had 15 carries the last game, but if you watch him, he goes through his progressions way differently than Lamar. He's a good quarterback, still severely underrated. The Eagles receiving core is amazing. Dallas Goedert is a top 10 tight end. I think, this Eagles team is going to win, and Ben Chadwick, you are going to be in pain watching this game.
Because I cannot wait for the Cowboys to win, and I can just scream in all of the plastered, drunk Philly fans' faces and possibly get jumped in Lincoln Financial Field, but it'll be so worth it. I cannot wait for Sunday night. Guys, we're going to move on to the picks for this week. We're going to have the odds here. I can't stress it enough. We aren't promoting betting in any way. We just thought it'd be a more fun way and a more fair way to pick these games. Will, I know you got to get going. So if you could just pick a winner and pick against the odds for each of these games. Washington at Chicago. Who is the winner? We have Chicago -1.
Yeah, I'm going to take Washington +1, and Washington is a winner. They're just going to come in, and you're right. This is once proven game, and he's going to prove that he's here to stay.
Yeah. Like I said, we're going to have Will run through all of his games, and then we'll get to each of our games. We have Baltimore at the New York Giants. Baltimore is favored by 5.
I do like the Baltimore Ravens to win, but Giants are going to take the +5 because the Baltimore have been so close in every game.
And next game we have is the New England Patriots at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is favored by 3 at home.
Everything New England. They're going to win it, and they're going to +3.
We have the Jets at the Packers. Green Bay is favored by 7 in this game.
It's at Lambeau, so we're going to go with the Packers to win it. But I do think the Jets are going to cover the +7.
We have the 3-2 Niners at the 2-3 Falcons. San Fran is favored by 5.5.
Once again, the Niners are going to win, but the Falcons are going to cover. It's just Saketh, I'm not saying they're a bad team. Falcons have kept it close in a lot of their games, and the 49ers don't have the offense to explode and score that much.
And next we have the second widest line of the weekend. We have the Bucs 3-2 at the Steelers 1-4. Bucs are favored by 8 in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, double Bucks. They're winning it by a lot.
Okay, we got the 4-1 Vikings at the 3-2 Dolphins, Minnesota by 3.
Oh yeah, keep it Minnesota by 3, and they're gonna win it.
Double Vikings. We have the Bengals 2-3 at the Saints 2-3. Cincinnati only favored by 2 in this one.
This is getting boring. I mean, they should be favored by like 30, but Cincinnati.
Yeah, we gotta run through. Well, you're the one that's got to leave. So
I know.
Jaguars 2-3 at the Colts 2-1. Indy is favored by 2. Give us the double jacks here, Will.
Colts by 25.
Panthers 1-4 at the Rams 2-3 for the 4:00 games. Biggest line of the weekend. Rams by 10.5 in this one.
This is a big. It's big, but gonna go with the Rams. Both. They're gonna cover the minus 10.5, which is kind of crazy.
I respect it. Cardinals 2-3 at the Seahawks 2-3. Arizona favored by 2.5.
I'm gonna take an upset in the Seahawks win and the Seahawks can cover. As I said, little guy running around can't do much.
The game of the weekend and then possibly the game of the regular season. Bills 4-1 at the Chiefs 4-1. Buffalo favored by 2.5 in Kansas City in Arrowhead.
Chiefs cover and win.
Wow.
I mean, Mahomes is undefeated when he's the underdog. He's gonna stay like that.
That's fun. Sunday Night Football. We already know your winner. Cowboys at Eagles. Philly by 5. Who do you have for the spread?
I think the Cowboys going to cover, but the Phillies easily going to win.
That's fair. Broncos 2-3 at the Chargers 3-2 for Monday Night Football. Chargers favored by 5.
Chargers going to win it, but the Broncos going to cover because their defense is going to keep them in the game.
All right, those
All right.
are Will's picks. Will, thanks for joining us here today. We're going to get to the rest of our picks now so that Will doesn't have to go through his rapid fire. So, Keth, we'll start with you. We have the 1-4 Commanders at the 2-3 Bears. Chicago favored by 1.
Carson Wentz is a Thursday night god. I'm going to take double Commanders. I'm taking Carson Wentz. I'll take the minus.
Brian, we'll head to you now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Sakef here. I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders here.
Double Commanders then, 2 for the spread. It's the Bears by -1.
Yeah, I feel like the Commanders +1, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Sure. All right, Jack.
I agree with Saketh. He's 6-0 Thursday Night Football. So, yeah, I'll take the Commanders double.
I'm going to switch it up. I've always loved the Bears too much. They disappoint me every single week. Give me the double Bears in this one at home. Starting off the 1:00 games, we have the Ravens, who are 3-2, traveling to New York to face the Giants. Ravens are favored by 5. Saketh.
This one's hard for me. Can you repeat the spread again?
Yeah, the Ravens are -5 in this one.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Giants, double Giants.
Double Giant. All right, Brian.
Double Giants. I'm going for it all.
I'm going to go with the Ravens here.
And who do you got covering?
Ravens +5 still. Yeah.
All right, Jack.
Yeah, Ravens double. They're going to cover that. Easy.
I got the Ravens winning this one, but I'm going to have the Giants cover that +5 spread. I think it's going to be a good one at MetLife. We have the Patriots, who are 2-3, at the Browns, also 2-3. Cleveland is favored by 3 in this one. Saketh.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Cleveland to win this game, and I think I'll take them in the spread too. I think I'll go double Cleveland.
Sure. Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cleveland and double Cleveland again too.
Jack.
I'll take Cleveland, but I think the Patriots cover.
I'm going to go with Saketh and Brian. I got Cleveland, double Cleveland as well. I think the Pats with that quarterback situation are on some. No, I'm going to change that. Give me the double Pats. I actually love Bailey Zapp, so I'm going to change up everything I just said. We have the Jets, who are 3-2, traveling to Green Bay. Packers are 3-2. Green Bay by 7 in this one. Saketh.
Yeah, I got the Packers winning, but I think the Jets are gonna cover. So yeah, I'll take the Packers to win, and then the Jets
that could be a common theme. Brian, who do you have in this one?
I'm going to take the Jets with this one. And
Jets. So Jets double.
Yeah, just double. Yeah.
All right, Jack.
I keep picking against my Jets, but I actually have to pick against them again. Packers, but the Jets will cover.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Jack and Saketh here. I got the Packers winning it. But, yeah, Saketh, or not Saketh, the Jets +7 is a good pick in my eyes. Not a good bet. Don't make bets based on us. It's a good pick in my eyes.
Absolutely.
We have the 49ers, who are 3-2, at the Falcons, who are 2-3. San Fran favored by 5.5 in this one. Saketh.
Sorry, can you repeat it again?
Yeah, the Niners at the Falcons, with the Niners being favored by 5.5.
You guys know my opinion. I'm taking double Niners.
Brian.
I'm going to take the Niners with this one to double it.
Double Niners. Jack.
I'll take Niners, but Falcons are 5-0 against the spread, so Falcons cover.
I like the analytics, but I'm going to agree with Brian and Saketh. I got the double Niners in this one. I think they blow out the Falcons, even though it's at Atlanta. We have the 3-2 Bucks at the 1-4 Steelers. Tampa Bay by 8 in this one, guys. Saketh.
After last week, I don't know. I think I'll take double Bucks.
Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bucks, but Steelers cover. So.
Jack.
Yeah, I'm gonna double up on the Bucks.
I'll take the Bucks to win it, but I'm with Brian. I think the Steelers cover. I think they maybe are a bit pissed off about that last game. So I like the defense against Tom Brady in this one. We have the 4-1 Vikings at the 3-2 Dolphins. Minnesota favored by 3 in this one. Saketh.
I'm taking double Vikings.
Brian.
Double Vikings.
Jack.
Yeah, 3 points is not enough. Double Vikings.
Double Vikings too. That is a complete sweep, even with the spread. That is a bit of a shocker there. Bengals 2-3 at the Saints, also 2-3. Cincinnati favored by 2 in New Orleans.
Yeah, this is not enough either, and I'm a Saints fan, so it sucks saying this. But yeah, double Bengals.
Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to take double Bengals with this one.
Jack.
Yeah, 2 points. 2 points is just crazy. Double Bengals.
It is a wild line. I got to go double Bengals too. That is, 16 straight agreements we just had? That is absurd. The 2-3 Jaguars at the 2-1 Colts. We can finally feel free to say whatever we want. Will is not here to judge us and lecture us. Indy is favored by 2 in this one. Kev.
Oh, I'm taking the plus. I got the Jags both.
Jags doubling. Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jags double with this one.
Jack.
I want to go Colts double.
Okay. It's so close. I feel like I have to double on someone, so I'll double on Trevor Lawrence and that Jags offense. Feels so good that Will's not here. We could say whatever we want. Moving on to the 4:00 games. Biggest line of the night. Panthers 1-4 at the Rams 2-3. A 2-3 team is favored by 10.5. So Kev.
I think the Rams are gonna win, but I think the Panthers are gonna be able to cover 10 points.
Brian.
I'm going to say the Rams, and I feel like they're going to double it. Yeah.
Sure. Jack.
Usually teams play good when their head coach gets fired right after. So I think the Rams are going to win, but the Panthers are going to cover.
I'm going to go against whatever stat that is. Do you think, is that actually true, or was that just a complete joke?
No, usually when the head coach gets fired, they play better.
Oh, yeah, like Romeo Crennel last year. You're actually right, yeah. Like the Texans started playing better under Crennel. For this one, I got the Rams winning, obviously, but I'm actually going to take the Panthers to cover that 10.5 spread. I really like J.C. Horn this year. He's not going to lock down Cooper Kupp, but I think he'll do a good enough job to make it maybe a one-possession game in L.A. Next up for the 4:00 slate, the Cardinals are 2-3 at the 2-3 Seahawks. Arizona favored by 2.5 in Seattle.
This one's kind of hard, but I think the fun answer would be to go double Seahawks.
Sure. Brian, with the jersey on.
Double Seahawks.
Jack.
Yeah, I'll double up on the Seahawks.
Double Seahawks for me, too, and they're not even favored, so that is another interesting one. Third straight complete agreement for us, and this is where I'm sure things are going to get choppy. 4-1 Bills at the 4-1 Chiefs. Bills by 2.5 in Arrowhead Stadium.
I'm taking double Bills.
Brian?
I'm going to take double Bills with this one, too.
Jack?
You can't make Patrick Mahomes the underdog. So, yeah, give me the Chiefs double.
I'm going to split my differences. I'm going to take – I'll take the Bills to win, but the Chiefs to cover. So I'll say it's a 2-point win for the Bills somehow, even though that's for sure not going to happen. The Broncos are 2-3 at the Chargers, who are 3-2 for Monday Night Football. Chargers favored by 5.
I got the Chargers winning, but I think the Broncos could cover this.
Jack. Oh, Brian. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Sakaf with this one. Chargers win and Broncos cover.
Jack?
I was gonna do Broncos cover, but now they're all saying it, so I'm gonna do double Chargers.
I'm not gonna let anyone sway my opinion. I'm gonna have the the Chargers winning, but nah, Jack convinced me. Give me the Chargers cover in that -5. Last game. This is a Sunday night game, but once again, the most important game this week for us at least. Cowboys are 4-1 at the Eagles, who are 5-0. Philly is favored by 5 at Lincoln Financial. Brian, we'll go to you first, and then me and Saketh will go last.
Eagles win and double.
Oh, you don't do that to me. 5 points is a lot, Brian. All right, you can't even explain it. I really appreciate that, Brian. Just breaking my heart. Jack.
Yeah, like I said before, the Cowboys are here, and they're here to stay. Give me Cowboys double.
Let's go. Saketh, I'll throw it to you.
You know, as much as I'd like to say the Eagles are gonna absolutely obliterate the Cowgirls, I have to say it since Will's not here. You know, the Cowboys offense is definitely strong enough to compete with the Eagles, and I think, you know, their defense is up there with one of the top in the league. So, you know, I'll take the Eagles to win the game, but I will take the Cowboys to cover 5 points.
Yeah, and Saketh, I mean, we want to see a good game, or at least you do, since you're a neutral fan. I mean, I'm picking the Cowboys to win, so I got to go Cowboys double. There's no way we lose. I would be a horrendous Cowboys fan if I said anything else. But I think that's going to do it for us today. Once again, at the bottom of the screen, it looks beautiful down there. I'm in first, 28-20. Say what you want about it. I'm the best picker as of right now. Saketh is 27-21. Will and Jack tied a couple games behind me, 1 game behind Saketh. Brian is below 500 right now. We missed him picking the other week, but Brian, we need to see a big comeback this week, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're going to hope so. We had a lot of similar picks today, but that's going to do it for this week 6 preview and our picks with the spread. So for Saketh Kodori, Will, who left us earlier, Brian Burke, Jack Kemmler, I'm Ben Chadwick. Thanks for watching.